Hey guys, this is Gilderoy speaking, and today we are back on my desktop background, and that is because we are running the Automation Lite Campaign V3.7 photo and design competition for Logitech Sports. Today is the first episode of the judging of the 1970s something Phobos. Yes, I can't remember the actual year. Was it 73? Might be. It doesn't matter so much. In this one, it is the Phobos, and that is what matters. The fourth car in the series of Logitech sports cars that up to this point in their history have not really turned much of a profit. But we have established ourselves, hopefully. Yes, so let's get into that and open up the first contender for this time, and we have 24 of them. And the first entry is by Architecton, and that is quite a fancy one. Yeah, I quite like that. Design. Let's talk design. That looks really solid. I like the look of the rear being more of a sedan-y style. It doesn't look super sports car-esque to me. It's a little simpler. Let me grab my... where do I have that? Let me grab my little pointery thing and make it green. And not 26. Alright, now we can see where I'm pointing. So, this segment of the car looks quite interesting. It's well done. It's well done. It doesn't look quite sports car-y to me. But that's fine, because this still looks sporty, but not really sports car, while the rest of the car does look very sports car. I quite like the shapes you've put in here. Even that one being a little odd, but it kind of works for this. Overall, I really like the design. I think this is a 6.5. No, it's a 7. It's good. Very, very good even. And now for the photo. I think the composition is excellent. I do like the trail effect. That is such an 80s thing to do, so it's a little ahead of its time. But I quite like it. One thing I need to point out is the quality of the image. It is subpar, as in the actual pixel perfect sharpness, quality, and so on. It looks a bit over-sharpened, and that is an effect you easily get with just not having enough pixel data available. I think you should have taken this shot in 4K and then resized. That would have given you much better results. The composition overall is really nice. You have a clear direction in this. The curve comes in from of course this bow, and yeah, that just works. It's a very dynamic looking picture, and the moon and the light. Well, the light here, this cone thing, is a little odd, but that's Automation's doing, not really yours. But you could have managed it a little better. Maybe that's a lens flare or something. So yeah, overall I think this is 7.5. I really like it. You went with very oversaturated red versus blue. I think that works, but this is not a fiery red, but rather purplish red. So that the whole image still looks a little cold, despite the car being all red and hot. Anyway, overall, really, really good. I think this one deserves a 7.5. So there you are at 14.5. And next up is ARN38FR, and we have a double F for you. Nice, okay. Very, very simple design. It works though. Pop-up headlights. It is very simple looking, but everything just fits. Some nice detail on top, lip down here. This really makes it work, I think. The greenish Fruinian number plate fits perfectly to the car. And yeah, I think the design overall is good. It's very simple, but it really hits the spot. So I think that's a 6. And now for the photo. Very close up of the car. Very much a close up. And very much blurred in the background. And I think that makes it work. It's a well-chosen blur effect for the speed. It does look fast. The car is still nicely in focus throughout. That's only something you can get with a high F value set, the aperture setting for the camera, while being at full speed, so to say. I think this really works. The colors are quite warm, despite this having some whites in here for the icy parts. The green sticks out very nicely on the orange car, and overall I really like the lighting. It's smooth, but not dull or flat. So yeah, I think this is an excellent shot. A 7. Yeah, I think, dude, there's nothing super spectacular to it, but it is a very well executed shot. So a 7. And next up is the Phobos Automation. Who is Automation? Where did he come from? He stole our name. All right, let's take a look. So what do we have here? Okay. A design. Nice line throughout, very sharp looking, and this added line here in the side, yeah, kind of works. Some detail on the rooftop, and detail-wise looking quite decent. Pop-up headlights there, and then the tiny ones in here, quite hard to see though. Tiny number plate. It's too tiny. No one would be able to see that. The car isn't large, don't forget about that. This is a small car. Yeah, okay, so overall, I think this is... I don't quite like the look of the front. I can't really tell what it looks like because it's so damn dark. I think this is still probably a solid design. Seems to be a decent amount of craftsmanship in here. I think that this line here connects with that line over there. If that is the case, that alone is worth a bit more and shows some attention to detail. All right. I don't think it's a good design necessarily, but it's more than solid. So 5.5. And well, you are Automation, so I assume you just didn't give it your screen name. So I don't note it down, but yeah, 5.5 there. Now for the photo. The moon. I think that's a really cool hero shot. I think this works if it's being pulled off right, but I think what this shot requires is some compositing of different exposures, so that the car is properly lit. Not unnaturally, but so that it really stands out and you can get some nice tonalities in there and really work it out, because this is such a heroic shot, and then you have this this underexposed car sitting in front of it. Like, yeah, all right, I see what he wanted to go for there, but it doesn't quite work. Also, this here, these things are not optimal. They are caused by Automation's lighting, and they should be taken out by some nice compositing of that lighting into the photo from a different shot of the same car in the same place at a different lighting setting. So yeah, okay. Photo, I think, is still a good one. It was a nice try, 6 there. So 5.5 and a 6. More than solid, for sure. Overall, pretty good shot. And car. And next up is Cake Ape. And here we have a... is this... That is full screen. Okay. Design. That looks like a different era to me. This looks somewhat like late 80s? Does it look late 80s? Looks like we are 80s, but we want to look futuristic. So it almost looks 90s. Not a fan of the design. I don't think it works that well. These elements here. Door openers. Why are there door openers up front? Or is that is some kind of extra light or something you put in there? I don't know. Looks like door openers in the front. Might be my ignorance, but yes. So you do have some design elements here at the side, and yeah, that is quite a nice touch. But I just feel this triangle and then this shape overall here flowing into it with the grill. That here, this whole part is nicely designed, but I don't think it fits. It doesn't fit the era and doesn't fit the car necessarily. Yeah, you would that would have to be some modern LEDs to make that work properly. Otherwise, yeah, it seems quite solid, but I don't see this quite work out for you. That is a it's not bad. Is it a solid design? No, it's a little too modern for that. 4.5. The photo. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. It's just a straight on, very simple, no background basically. Weird lighting. This is such an odd reflection to have in here as well. Yeah, just not a fan. I don't think it works out. It feels very static. It doesn't feel like it has attitude. It's just an in-your-face shot of a car without much creativity. So, that's 3.5. And next up is Der Bayer. And here, let's see what Martin has created for us. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's quite the nice touch, actually. To have the engine in the picture as well. Unfortunately, it can't sit on a table or something right next to it. That would look amazing if this is not working out. The positioning here isn't working out. That thing would have to be, I think, should be sitting in the background here somewhere on some kind of display over there, so that it sticks out like this. Because this seems very oddly in front, but then cut off, so as if it doesn't matter, if it's just an obstacle to photograph around. But let's take a look at yeah, that was picture discussion, all right. The design itself, I really like the two-tone. It's well done. Also, shiny. The design here with these rounded elements and triangles at both ends. That works out, I think. And the rear has some very solid design work going into it. I really like the clear lines that has going on here with the additional brake lights. The venting here seems solid as well. Side vents or inlets, rather, working out. Overall, I think this is a design that works. This is somewhat simple, but handily crafted. I like the same shape being repeated here that you have here as well. That really works. Otherwise, pretty standard, but classic working. Yeah, I can't really fault this design for anything. I think this is a proper good design. 6.5. It doesn't. Yeah. Doesn't tell me like, wow, oh man, this is amazing, but so well executed on many parts. I think the rear light setup, like this top part here, isn't quite captivating me enough. I really like this part though. So yeah, 6.5 on the design. Now for the picture. I quite like the tonalities of it. It looks the appropriate era. It's also pretty good composition. Apart from the engine being cut off, as we've already discussed, you need to see what's going on down there as well. But of course you can't really do that here unless you park the engine like the car with just the engine showing, somewhere there or even further behind, like there, then I think that works out better. That gives a better step, because the engine is what is visible first in this image. The eye comes in and it's like, oh fuck me, fucking hell, what is going on? There's an engine sitting there naked. That is not safe for work. And then they see the car. It's like, oh, okay, there's a car in this image. Yeah, nice. That's actually a good design. And oh, it was made in automation, even better. And that, of course, is reading left to right. You see the object first, then you see the second object, just following along. This object points in this back in this direction, and so you spot engine again, and maybe eyes are wandering around the image. But I think overall the lighting is pretty good. Some nice tonalities in there. I like the choice of colors. It doesn't feel all that dramatic. It's quite static. It feels like something a mechanic would have on his wall. Yeah, I think so, because it's not an ad shot. It's not for advertisement, but it's quite good. I think I quite like it. I think it's a good shot. A 6. It's infinity again. Holy shit, mate. Okay, have you perfected the formula is the question. Infinity with his chase scene. The answer is no, you haven't. The last one worked better. The last one, let me bring that one up real quick. So here you have the last one. I'm placing it in the same, so this one worked a lot better. Because the chase car here is placed along the diagonal that this car is following anyway, and it is connected via this line very strongly. Very, very strong compositional feature. You don't have this in this picture. Here the line is not properly connected. It just helps along this line, but then leads out of the image there, more or less. It becomes a hint of a hook there. And then this line is not strong enough over there to really frame it properly. So, I don't think this works as well. And I'm going to give you a picture score first. It's still a very good shot. It still has its benefits going for it. With the chase car being nice, it's still good, but the chase car isn't in the perfect spot. Because again, you have this diagonal diagonal composition here. Oh, that's not a diagonal color. So where's the car here? It's not there. The eye would be following this one. Because you have defined the direction of the car via this one, and the direction is here. And if you just follow, why can't I see my mouse anymore? Where is it? There. If you just follow along that wasn't quite straight. You expect this car to be there, but it's not. So it's not quite a strong composition. Also, the lines are weaker. But okay, for the score, still like it. This is the 7? Yeah, could be. Is it a 7 or 6.5? Not going beyond that. I think this is still a 7. But, okay, fair warning to you. This formula will have to be either perfected next time, or you get additional subtraction of score. No, rather any further image you produce in that way will get a -1 just because you're repeating yourself a little too much. We now know how it works, especially with this one trying to have a variant on the formula, a variation on the formula, and it didn't quite work, and I've told you why it doesn't quite work. But anyway, so design. I think the design is really good. There is some really cool detail everywhere. The Phobos, the grills, the asymmetric grills. Still some features from the Mercury, really. Asymmetric stuff in here. Very nice pop-up headlights, but pop-up headlights without the front of the car looking barren. That's a very nice setup for the grill bumper and so on, and the blinkers. So much detail in here. I quite love it. and everything offset and asymmetric, and you make it work. That's impressive. I like the single windscreen wiper. It has everything. It does look a little busy here with this side window thing. Is that actually in the car? I think you... no, that's put on manually now that you can't put stuff on that. I think that's a little much maybe. But it's really good design. I think this is... is it an 8? Or 7.5? I think this might be a great design. I'm not quite sure what is this? Is this the pee-pee hanging out or something? But yeah. I really have to look hard to find anything to fault this car for, and that usually means it's a great design. So let's put an 8 there. That is really nicely designed, but photo score, nah, you have done better before. And next up is Esdom. And here we go. Zoomy. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's a fancy looking shot. Now let's take a look at the design. Yeah, I think that works. It's really unique looking. With it, the front is fantastic. It looks so 80s though, somehow. No, could be late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, I think this just works. It's quite simple, but unique. What color is this? Is this deliberately brown? Because that quite works with the scene overall and so on. And some nice detail here. Windscreen wipers nicely placed. The venting here is perfect. Just gels with the car, and I think the pop-up headlights just perfect in here. Yeah, overall this feels like such a good design. It's unique. It's not something I've seen before, but it's so well pulled off as well. Like this grille in the front is really captivating. Yes, it has natural lines going along here because of the strong wedgie aspects of it. But you don't need additional lines, and you have this venting, double venting in here in the sides, which really helps the lines as well and connects the front to the back, because you have this line and then that continues here with the vents. If I could draw it properly, like there, yes. Not necessarily a fan of this color. I'm not sure if... Yeah, but that's probably the same bronzy stuff like you have there. But overall, this is a really strong design. There's no way around me... Oh, and the badging too. The badging is cool. There's no way around me giving this an 8. I kind of don't want to because you're winning so much, but this is so good. Fuck you, this is so good. Alright, now this is an 8. That is an 8. Alright, now the photo. I was in the thumbnail. If you look at it, it's small. No, that's my Google sheet. I'm zooming in. You can't. Yeah, that can't see that. Okay, in the thumbnail, I was like, yeah, yes. Don't know if that works. But then, if you look at all the detail in it, and there's a lot. Where's this photo even taken? Is this taken? Oh, that must be on the modern design room thing on the outside somewhere. Right. Yeah. So yes, the color is a very strong artistic choice. So you have very warm colors, and then the blue, the sky blue, for the car, with the bronze aspects to it, which also are kind of connecting it to the scenery itself. Yay! This color really shines through in this design of yours. So these colors are really connecting to what is going on in the rest of the frame. Yeah, that works. Very strong attitude stance. Look at this nuance here. Slightly turned in wheels. That's perfect. Not too much, not too little. It looks good. It's not looking static. It looks like a little bit more natural, a bit more attitude-y. And so much detail in the lighting of this because of all the lights in the scene. That works. Some nice reflections and so on. Yeah, this really works. It's not super wow at first, but this is a perfect poster image for a car like this. It's at least a 7.5. I don't know if it's a great shot. I lack some dynamicism. Is that the word? I never can pronounce it. Probably could spell it, but not pronounce it. I think this is a 7.5 or an 8. I think it's a 7.5. Yeah, it's a little too static for anything else. No, I shouldn't say that. You can pull off some really static, great images. This almost feels like an 8 though. Oh, why is it so hard? Hey, fuck it, it's an 8 actually. The shadows, that is something that is... Okay, I need to point that out. This is so strong, and that's why it's an 8. So, the shadows in here are deliberately, as far as I can tell, used as framing for the car, and it really works out. It really works out. If I draw this to there, if I could draw it straight, just like that, and then you have this line going down here as well. Like, if you just saw this part, which is here in the middle now, that is already like a perfect framed car, and these shadows just work wonders for that. It makes what this does. It's such an important concept in photography. You want to keep the eyes of the viewer inside the image. And what is happening in this case is exactly that. Because of the difference in contrast, the eye is naturally, or the brain is naturally looking more towards the things that are bright in an image rather than the things that are dark in an image. And with these natural framing lines you have going on here, that just makes a prison for the eye. It just makes the perfect prison for the eye. And it stays inside here and just looks around everywhere and just sucks in the detail, and then it probably at some point draws dicks on the car as well. The great dick in the sky has spoken. So yeah, this is just really good. So because of this compositional trick, you have gained yourself a full 16 as your score, which tends to be extremely competitive. Ah man, I never would want to be in the position to be judged after as them. That is just such a shit show. The image isn't bad, and the design isn't bad either. But let's have a look. Griso. Sorry mate, that's you chose the wrong name in this photo competition. Alright, let's have a look. The car. First thing I was noticing is, yeah, the two-tone quite works, and I like this little detail there. It's a positive thing to point out first. Other than that, this is looking a little weird. With the double windscreen wiper here, that looks like, because the light is here, this looks like eyebrows. Just sitting on top there. It's like, yeah, this car has eyebrows, look at him. And the design, here you have your little logo. And the badging there. Some off-center elements, nice. I think the design though is quite basic at the front. It doesn't shout anything positive at me, in the sense of like, look, I'm unique. It looks like someone has pinched his little cheeks. These are the pinch marks, and these are the eyes. It's a quite cute design for a sports car like this. It looks like a light sports car. Maybe that's what you were going for. And then I would say, I agree, that kind of works. Not bad. The rear, also some badging going on, repeat. This is a little awkward, look at that. the height of this one above this line is not the same as the height of this one above this line. And the height of this one above this line. I don't think that necessarily works. I think in this case you want to have some more symmetry. Or maybe break the symmetry entirely by having this one there on the line, this one where it is, and this one placed in the grid or somewhere around there. You probably tried that out and decided like, nah, this doesn't look quite good. But anyway, just a thought there. Otherwise, I think it's at least a solid design. Probably a little bit better. It's quite cute. If you accept the cuteness, then it's a 5.5. It's better than solid. It's almost good. Oh, is it good? Nah, it's a little too cutesy. So 5.5 for the design. The photo. Yeah. La-da-dee-da-dee-da, the great Dick in the sky. He drops his rain on us whenever he can because he's horny as fuck. Okay, what is going on here? Why am I doing this again? Yeah, that's a question I always ask myself. So the actual image takes place in this sliver of the image. You can make a panorama widescreen thing with this, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing that draws the eye away from here to there for any reason. So this is just Great Dick in the Sky territory, and same thing goes here, apart from that line, which weirdly isn't connected there. So yeah, that's a compositional problem also. And the cars are very close together. They are very close together in this sense. And the color differential between them might be good enough. Have you tried colors that are further apart? Maybe this car back here in blue instead of orange? Could have worked. Not quite sure. That would be something to try out. Yeah, I think this is it still has good aspects to it. I quite like the stance and attitude of the front car. The rear car, well, it's just there. Appendage. I would say it's a solid shot still. But it has its problems. Negative space that isn't used in the for the main purpose of negative space, to balance things out. Alright, it's a 5. And next up we have G as random. Let's have a look at you, sir. F you twice. No, not Control F. Ah, fuck you, Photoshop. How do I get rid of Control F, maybe? Yes. Well, I wonder. So, design. That's quite fancy looking. Why doesn't he have his headlights on? Maybe because he wanted to show it off that way. He's being chased. He doesn't need light. The full moon, yeah, you wouldn't need any light in full moon in this kind of landscape. Yeah, I think that quite works. It does look pretty. Don't quite like the look with the headlights out as much. But looking at the detail you've put in here, that's certainly more than solid. I think that's pretty good. Everything is in there. Everything is in place. Seems quite standard as such. Some nice detail here. Yeah, that's a good design. A 6 for you. And now for the photo. Well, you've certainly tried to build this kind of curve thing. And that is successful. But what the hell is going on over there? Can we please? Could I? No. Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay. It's control mouse wheel. So, come on, scroll there. That car over there looks like floating. Why does it look like floating? Oh, it's because of the light cone being so far down there. Yeah, that really looks like a floating car to me. which is odd, to say the least. Is this a floating car? No, that's... Oh. It is a floating car. It's floating over there. While here it looks like connected, but not there. It's weird. Up. Zoom out again. So yeah, composition. I think that quite works. Especially like the placement of light source versus this car and this car's position and direction. This just really nicely works. I think this car is slightly too far to the edge here and could use a bit more direction pointing towards this car. That one over there, the Mr. Floaty car, I don't know if that is really necessary. Could also have done this one, placed it here. I guess if, like, there maybe. And driving the corner a bit more. Yeah, overall, I think it works. Nice effect here, by the way, with the light hitting the plants. That probably was not all that easy to do or think of and then execute on it. So I think this is pretty good. That is also is it a good shot? Or is it more than that? I think this looks pristine. Like this car and its direction and lighting in the scene is really nice. I think this is 6.5. And next up is Gilderoy. And we shall have a look at your car. Is this the correct size? Yep. Yeah, certainly not a fan of the design. What is this? Holy shit, mate. Did someone... Oh, why is this black now all of a sudden? Did someone just crack this rib of your car? Like, look at that. It's like, up, and then it goes up again. Rup. Why isn't that straight? That's a little odd. And this, of course. Sorry for the black marker. I need to change the color again. I don't think these inset lights look good in this instance. They're very much inset. I see why you were going for them. I mean, this certainly gets you around the need for pop-up headlights, which is so common. So that's a creative solution, I would say. Not sure if this is a solution that works. I would have gone with at least have this part, this grille, also be inset in the same way. In that way, this would look a lot more consistent and less weird. Also, why is the number plate super shiny and the car otherwise like a little dark? Some intake there. This one looks like a wart. You don't necessarily want that. And this here is maybe like, let's just, this looks so much like, oh, let's just slap some vents on there. It will work just fine. That's good design for a sports car, right? Nah, not really. There's usually some more thought put into those. And otherwise, it's quite okay. It's not great. I don't really like the design though. The front doesn't work for me. And the broken rib. I think to me it's a 4. The image itself, yeah, quite cold looking. And then the color of the car being dehydrated piss doesn't help the issue. So, yeah, not a fan. Stance and slight angling of the image does work. That is a positive. Everything being sharp in here, like this, is a lot of detail, a lot of stuff that is taking attention away from the car itself. I think you could have found something that works better. Probably this design could have worked with a bit shallower depth of field so that you don't get all the detail from the brick wall and the trees in the background and everything in the background. The front here, quite boring. There's no real proper lead into the image and there is no proper horizon either. So yeah, I'm not sure this is not very strong. Because of the problems with the attention grabbing, I think, and lack of tonalities in the actual paint of the car because of how flat it's looking and how, okay. One important point of criticism, this color here and there is very similar to this color of the car. It's very close in tonality, and that means the car doesn't stand out. And if you then have lots of detail in this background, then you're fucked. So now you're fucked because you get a 4. No, a 3.5. And next up is Kernty. And this is 100%. We're going to review this image. No, okay, let's not do that. What the fuck is this aspect ratio, mate? Is this... What did you do there? Okay, no, this is 16:9. So I just need to somehow view it full screen and then have it sized to screen. Oh no, this is showing the entire picture, I believe. Yep, yeah, no, it is. Alright, so, design. That doesn't quite work for me. It's looking weird. Certainly is looking weird with those small wheels that are pointing straight towards you. It's not a good idea for a photo, by the way. If you have really small front wheels and you're a sports car and it's all about attitude, maybe don't point them straight to the viewer so that the viewer maybe can't really see how small they are. Because while they are correctly sized probably for what I designed and what makes sense, it's not the most intimidating of looks. This looks like the little dog who just wants to play. Look, he just wants... I want to play as well, guys. Look at me. Cute little button nose. I still haven't changed the color of this thing. Yeah, okay. Design elements. Nah. I don't think the whole thing works. This is odd looking. I really need to change the color. Alright. So these are odd looking. Could work if there were other design elements holding this thing together, but there are not. And then I think this works. That's quite nice. I think the shape here is nice looking. Might be a little bit more 90s though, blobby. And these intakes, sure, work. And the door handle there, of course. But otherwise, you don't really see anything. And it looks quite barren. And looks very basic in design. Now, photo, where's your fucking focus, mate? It's over there. Why are these so important to you that you focus on them? Why are these so important? I don't get it. Maybe you want to not show the front design as much. So this looks like a photo that was taken by someone who can't handle a camera. And that's not a good thing. Also, please point these wheels in this direction so that they don't look quite as tiny. About the same steering angle in that direction, the opposite direction, would have worked quite well. And would have added some score. But like this, nah. On a positive end of this spectrum of this this submission, I quite like the highlighting colors. The smooth highlighting around the car. That looks really pretty. So that's quite good. But okay, design 3 point. Yeah, it has some elements that are decent. So yeah, it's not absolutely awful. 3.5, and the image 3. No, because of the highlighting, the light is quite nice. So 3.5 as well. And next up is Angelo with this one. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Design-wise, whoa, that number plate looks absolutely massive on this car. Could have been toned down slightly. Yeah, quite squarish looking, almost. It's quite 80s style. No, it's late 70s style. It looks like late 70s. Quite well done lines around it. They look a little chunky, but yeah, I think, yeah, a little too chunky. That thing though, holy shit. I'm trying to eat babies with this. Being sucked in and everything. So, I very much like this design here. Ah, you do have pop-ups there too. Ah, yeah. Okay. Ugh. Yeah. I'm not sure if this car would look as fantastic as the front does here, with the headlights up. But that's not really what we're judging here. I quite like the dual slit venting there, which have a similar shape to these smaller lights. Dark, intimidating front grille. Very good. And overall, just looking good. Apart from this part here, that is really kind of awful looking in there. Not very aerodynamic either. So, yeah, design. It's a good design. I like it. It's a 6. And now the image. It's so close to being really good. I want... Well, this photo would work so well with a different aspect ratio. Let me show you, and try to not fuck it up too much. Okay, Photoshop. Thanks for that. Now we have a... now we have a mountain factory over there. That looks really cool, by the way. Holy shit. Do you see how much better this looks, though? It's so much more balanced in composition, and you could go a little further. Oh, there we have it. The smoke plumes are rising. Look at that. Such a nice shot. Now it feels proper balanced. Before, there was just not enough headroom here to make this image live. Like, great dicks in the sky and all. Yes, but the image needs room to breathe. There needs to be a little bit of space for some dicks, but not too much. Because this composition does have verticality to it. So, look at that. So you have all of that in verticality, and then your original frame was cut off right there at the top, so that the viewer doesn't know what comes up there. Even, was it cut? Was the rock actually cut a little? I think it was. That wasn't enough space on top to let the image breathe. Like this, that's a fantastic shot. Yeah, that's really strong. I love the strong line here and the framing it does to the car. The front of the car, the lighting is just fantastic. Also the overall lighting in the scene and the coloring of the shot really work wonders. This is super strong, but you have the problem of the smoke plumes in the sky. The mountain factory. Why didn't you have a mountain factory in there? Would have been so nice. Yeah, I think like this, if that actually was possible to submit this, that would have been an 8. Easy. This is an easy 8, mate. But the way... Oh, yeah, let's go back. Let's go back. Boom, boom, boom. Look at the difference. Just look at the difference. How the balance in this image has shifted completely. It feels so top-heavy now. Compared to what we had. Like with the factory plumes. This image, still a 7. I think with the factory plumes, maybe this would have been 8.5. 0.5 just for the factory plumes. So, yeah. Really nice shot. Could have been better. And the next one is by Triggerfin. And we have design here. Okay. I think the racing stripes almost work. They are very, very high contrast, but it might also be down to the image, which does have quite high contrast. And yeah, okay. Let's look at the design. Yes, I'm thinking about the image already. So it's a little distracting in places. So the only thing I really can say is, we do have a bit of a glimpse on the rear here. And not a fan of these this half oval shaped vent, or rather grill, with the teeth in it. This setup here, quite nice. I like it. Doesn't fit the front at all though. Like, you have square stuff here, and then you have round stuff on the rear? How does that fit together? Well, it does if you would place them in something that is square. But just having them like that? Yeah, I mean, the back is more rounded than the front, but still, I think this is an odd design choice. And then, other than that, though, it seems pretty solid. And the front is rather strong. A little chunky here as well on the sidelines. This blinker there. These are maybe slightly tall. This lower shaped grille looks quite modern. Otherwise, quite solid. So, despite the weirdness on the rear compared to the front, like if I did see this alone with just this on the rear on such a shaped car, I would be like, yeah, of course. But with this front, I think it's still solid. And solid means a 5. Alright, so now image. Very blurry. Like, most of the image is blurred. Quite like the position of this car with its very strong directional sense. If you didn't have that strong directional sense, you would have had to place the car a little higher in the frame, because otherwise it just drives straight out of the image. But you've kind of fixed that through the very strong and maybe a little overblown angle of the wheels there. Yeah, overall, I would have liked to see the car move slightly further that way, because this is very tight to the frame for this kind of composition. Also, it's very low in the frame. But that works because of the background here, having a clear direction and stuff. Some nice detail being visible there, despite it being blur. Overall, the blur, not a fan. Especially that this car that is so close by is so blurry. So this looks to me like you did it with motion blur, which is a fine thing to do. But of course, with two cars in the frame, that doesn't necessarily work out that well. And I think here it doesn't. I would like to see a bit more of this car. But also, they're touching here, not that great. This car has the direction of going that way, out into the fields. There's no chance this car at speed turns that corner. Well, the same goes for this one, by the way. But alright. It's not terrible, but not great. Not good. It's not good. Is it solid? Yeah. I think the lighting is quite nice, and the choice of scenery and is quite good. So I think it's solid too. 5.5 for you. Not 5.5, but 5 for design and 5 for the photo. Alright, that was the first set of entries. I think I did one too many. Yeah, the last one was one too many. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this first walkthrough of the images, and look forward to the second part of this. And so many good ones in this one. Especially the plumes with the mountain factory. The secret laboratory factory. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.